Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Welcome once again in my online class. We are right now very closer to our in this semester. This is our second last class. We have another class after that, so we are very closer to the ending of this semester. All the faculty members, they are giving you the classes, and you are very busy in making all the things possible. And I think it is very important issues right now we are discussing today, that an online education and online learning or e-learning is very challenging for the students at home, because you are with your family members and all the members are very busy in their own activities. Everyone is making their life, wants to do their own lives, own activities at home, and while you are taking the lectures and online education, you have to be more rational, and you have to think about that you are getting the calm and tranquilizing environment so that you can take the lectures properly. But it is very challenging one, because sometimes in the families you have adults, you have old people, you have even the children. So the children sometimes making noise, and they are creating some problem for the students and also for the brother and sisters. They are not taking the lectures very seriously, because they will have to create some noise in the room, and also even you have to manage your all activities very seriously. So this is another challenging part of the online education right now in our pandemic situation in the real world. So you have to be very serious, and you have to be very smart even, otherwise you will not do the things possible. So this is important thing for your life. So another things we are trying to discuss with you, that while you are managing your life, you have to be more pragmatic, because you have to follow some code of conduct, and you have to follow some ethical issues in your life, because ethics is much important and more important for our day-to-day life. And if you have to have a real life, an authentic life to live, you have to be more rational, and you have to follow the code of conducts, of ethical code of conducts even in your life, because after the graduation, you will straight go to the organization, and organization, what they need the ethical people, they need the ethical employee who will ultimately contributing to the development of the organization. And employer want those people who will remain honest in their activities. So I think it is another important thing for your life also while you are doing your business. Even it is another crucial part of the online education, while you are taking lectures, while you are having lectures and you are getting online education. So it is one of the important part of the e-learning, that you have to be also, and you have to be ethical people, and also you have to follow the right code of conduct in your education, because the teachers are giving you the lectures, they are giving you the assignments, sometimes they will take some examination online. So unless you are ethical person, you are honest, you are not following the rationalities, so ultimately the real sense or the real emotion of the online education will not be completed. It will be a failure, totally failure. What the national university and our college administration is thinking, that online education they are giving, and then students are taking it very seriously. So you have to be more rational, and also you have to follow the code of conduct of the ethics. So another important part of our lectures today, that we are going to start within very short time, that ethical issues. So our next part of our discussion of this chapter is related to the ethical issues while you are managing the conflicts. So next chapter, so be prepared for that, and also hopefully we will start within very short time. So next you will have to think about that when you are managing the conflict in the organization, ethical issues are completely, it is a mandatory issue for the organization. So I think you have to think about the issues very seriously. So students, prepare use your pen and paper, take your notes, and if you have any question, write down on the paper so that we can go to the review session later on, so that you can ask the question and I will give you the answer on the review sessions. So start with our next chapter, that is ethics in the conflict management. So first of all, we'll have to start with our ethical conflict. So what is the meaning of the ethics first? So ethical is an understanding. Ethics is an understanding about what is right and wrong. So if you know that what is right and what is wrong, I think you cannot do the wrong things unless you are intentionally you are trying to do the wrong things. So it is an understanding. You know that what is right and wrong. So and you are very this is the main part of the ethical aspects. So while you are in conflict management or while you are in conflicts, so you are not taking very seriously. So for example, one person having a conflict with another, and another person wants to hit or try to make a harm in the conflict management. So maybe you'll have to follow some code of conduct in the or some ethical aspects in the conflict. So you will not try to hurt the people in such a way that will make the people, or that the people will get seriously injured. So you have to think about these aspects also. Think about the businessman, why when they are in conflict situation, there isn't two competitors, they are in a conflict situation, and once one businessman wants to make having a conflict with the people or other businessman. So when you are in a conflict situation, you will have to think about the ethical aspects, like so for example, one businessman trying to set the price at a level, and where the other businessman cannot or he cannot sustain in the long run with the price the organization or the other person is already set in the markets. So for example, Mr. X and Mr. Y, there are two businessmen in the business there, and they are making a conflict, and then Mr. X is setting the price of the same product, or the product is a very minimum price, and he's making loss, even try to eradicate the other competitors, Mr. Y, from the market. So this is not a very ethical conflict, because Mr. X is a leader, he is a giant businessman, and other person is not a very good businessman. He's a very infant and novice businessman. Recently he's established the business, but he cannot set this price for a longer version of time, and maybe ultimately sometimes he will have to leave the business, and the Mr. Y will have to make an exit from the business organization or the business area. So this is not a very good idea. So you have to follow some ethical issues in the conflict management also. So that's why we are trying to trying to give you the lesson of the ethical aspects of the organizations. So ethical issues in the conflict means that you have to follow some real code of conduct, some authentic and rationalities you have to follow while you are managing the conflict between the two person. The person who are trying to settle down or trying to play a role, kind of moderator, you have to think about the rationalities, the what is right and what is wrong. So that is we are trying to give you the pictures of ethical conflict. So I think students already you got the idea that what is ethical conflict and what is ethics. The next issue is the reason for or the causes of ethics, why we need these things in our life, even in our professional life, in our general life, in our family life, or our personal life. So in general, what we need, why we need conflict. Okay, so and also you have to implement it in your professional life also, why we need the ethics in a longer version of our life. If you want to live an authentic life, the first one, if you want to live an authentic, means that you have to live a proper life, a justified life, rational life in your future, then you have to allow the ethics in your life. Otherwise it will be very difficult, because if you are not following the ethics in your life, maybe you can do any kind of wrong activities. You have to think about the issues very properly. It is relevant for your professional life also. While you are not taking the ethics very seriously in your professional life, maybe you cannot have a better relationship with your colleagues and also your superior. Maybe your subordinates will not have a better lesson or understanding about your behavior, because your subordinates will have to listen, and they are basically making copy, because your junior will ultimately take over your position later on. If you are not following the right code of conduct, it will be sometimes very difficult for you to manage them later. So another issue is that ethics makes you more successful. This is another important part that we are talking about, that you have to be more successful and you have to think about the ethics simultaneously. Because successful men, or women, they have their life authentic. Unless you are honest, unless you are following the moralities, unless you are not following the right code of conduct, so you cannot success in your life. Even some people who are successful, in that virtually the meaning of success, it depends. It is a subjective matter, that what is the meaning of the successful. Sometimes some people are thinking that money is a success, or some people are thinking about that money is not a success. It means that the respect, the dignity, the respect, and the the people who are living the society, if they are giving you the the respect in your life, then you can think about that you are successful. Some people are thinking about also in different way, that if I have my better family, if I have organized my life properly, if I have not that much money but I am successful and I am playing all the role successfully in my life, as a children, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister. Every person is playing a role in the life. So if a person completely successful, he is, think about that, he is a successful one. It means that he is implementing all the roles what he or she is trying to implement in the life. If he successfully implement or trying to think about those roles successfully in the life, so I think it is another success area. So it depends on how you are interpreting the success factors in your life. But whatever may be the cases, how you are implementing and whatever the matters, and how you are reflecting or how you are observing the success factor in your life, all the area and all the issues and all the space, you have to think about the ethical aspects of your life. So it is another case, another reason that why we need ethics in your life. So the third one, that ethics allow you to cultivate inner peace. So this is the third one, the meaning. This is the important part, that cultivate. It means that if you want to if you want to have a better feeling of your inner peace, that you have to think about the cognitive feeling, that emotional, or the feeling that you have a better peace in your life, that you feel that yes, I'm very fine right now. I feel that I have done a very good job for the people. So think about right now what we are facing in the pandemic situation, that people are having problem of having good foods, better foods. Even some people are not having any foods. Even in that case, some voluntary activities, or the people who are reflecting their philanthropist activities, I think they are doing well. Those people are spending a lot of money and also time, and even by distributing the help and also those food to the people, some people are getting affected by the COVID-19 virus. So I think it is another case that some people are trying to get the inner peace, that they are trying to give or help the people. So this is a very important issue, that sometimes some people wants to get the inner peace for their life, and they want to satisfy their human life by doing this kind of voluntary activities. So I think some of the students in our departments also, they are trying to involve the departmental activities, and they are trying to involve voluntarily in the different types of activities what the department and the college are organizing. So, and also I think after doing that, they are not being paid, they are not getting any payment by the department, but still they are doing that. Why? And after doing that, he is satisfied with the performance, I think. And also I think this is a kind of voluntary activities, and once they are successfully doing that, you will get the inner peace. He is satisfying, and that is the case. If you are following the ethical activities, I think you can also do this kind of inner feelings in your life very seriously. This is a fact for your life also, so take it very seriously in your general life and professional life. This is important. Sometimes if you are doing some better things for your organization, for your boss, I think you will feel that, yes, I have done a very good job for my organization. So I think this is critical issues for the organizations also. Next one is ethics provide for a stable society. It means that sometimes organizations are trying to establish a better society, or the people who are staying at the society, they are trying to make a society stable. Why and how you can make the society stable unless you have to follow the ethics? It means that people who are living in the society, or people who are the leader of the society, they will have to give the notification, advice to the people that yes, you have to follow these things in the society. It means that in our country, who is the leader? Maybe the government, the prime minister, or any other leader, or any other local leaders like the councillors, or the people who are the members of the society. Maybe they will give you the lesson that if you want to make the society stable, you have to follow the code of conduct, right code of conduct. Otherwise, the society, there will be an anarchy. So it is also applicable for your organization, that if you have to make the organization stable, because organization is a big society, is an professional society. If you think about, then as you know that organization, there is a culture, there is an issues you are following. So organization, there is also a organizational culture. So within the organization, there is a society, and you have to follow, you have to make the society stable. If all the employees and all the employers are following the right code of conduct, so it can be a very big and better issues for the organization. So think about it very seriously. Another issue is the ethics may help out in the afterlife. That is the last part of our discussion of this topic, that this is the ultimate thing, that afterlife. It means that when you are think about that afterlife, there is another life. It is applicable for the Muslim. If you believe the afterlife, maybe the other community, if they are believing afterlife, there is another life. It means that if you are doing right things, you are following the ethics in your in your life right now, and after that you will have another life, and then the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or your Almighty of your community, that they will give you the better return for your doing or following the code of conducts right now, what you are having in your society. So this is another case. So you have to think about that, why we need the ethics in your life. So student, if you have any question about this topic, so try to make a question later on in the Zoom session. So right now we are in another important part and an important topic for your National University examination, that ethical decision making model. So you have to follow a model that is designed by the person who is very renowned in that situation or in your area. The Corey and a tale means that there are some other authors are there. In 1998, the person and also their associates develop an ethical decision making model, and that we are going to start. This is a model. As it is a model, you have to follow a kind of process like that. So you have to start with your first initial activities of the model. That is, you have to think about first. I can give you the overview of total model earlier. That is this is like that. This is if you think about that, if you want to get it in a in a one way, or at a glance, if you see that there is an model, it is like that, more or less like that. This is a picture that is a model that you have to write down and you have to draw in the examination. Later on I'll give you the soft copy so you can use your lectures. So once you understand that it is a model, so you have to write down and follow that like a model. So first step of this model is that once you have to make the rational decision making model, if you have to follow the ethics in the decision making model, so first is a stop and think about the problem. So it means that first, what is the main problem? So when you are taking a rational decision making model or ethical decision making model, you have to think about first, without any kind of issues, that you are not doing anything right now, just you stand still and you remain stagnant and think about the problem. What is the main problem right now that you are facing, that you have to think about, and you will have a decision later on. So think about the main problem, core issues, core area of our problem, or you are finding difficulties. What is the meaning of the problem? Problem means that whatever the situation you are facing is it creates the difficulties for your life. So problem means that any situation that creates difficulties for your life. So you have to think about that difficulties right now, what you are facing. Okay. So next is clarify your goal. It means that you have to make that clear statement of your vision, of your target and objectives, that what you are taking to or wants to do, or what you are taking or what you want to do. So what is the meaning of that? After think about that, the real problem, the main, maybe your intention that I want to solve this problem, I want to continue this problem. This is the, sometimes I am taking don't take it seriously, that sometimes some people are taking it seriously that I want to continue this problem. This is not a very good idea, but sometimes in exception, some people wants to take it seriously, that he or she wants to take or wants to continue this problem for life because he wants to make some unethical activities in the organization. So this is exception, don't take it seriously, but maybe the majority cases, sometimes some people always try to solve this problem, that may be the main goal, or clarify the goal of the organization. So I think it can be a very good and clear statement that you are making in the organization. So in the general life also, you have to clarify your objectives, that what you want in the society, what you want in your life. So as you know that we are talking about the industry, we are talking about the industrial relationship, all the examples should be related to the organization in an industrial relation. So as you know that to clarify the statement that you have to think about, and you have to clarify your objectives. This is another important part of taking decision while you are making the decision. But think about that in each and every steps you have to follow the ethics, because once you make the problem, you identify the problem, you have to follow also, you have to think about the right code of conduct. You have to think about that, which is the important part of your what things you are making your life difficulties. So once you are thinking, there should be a reflection of the ethics. Once you are clearing or clarify the goal, or you are making the statement, or you are clarifying your intention, so there will be a reflection of the ethics also. So what is right and what is wrong? It means that how you are what is the right way, what is the right way of clarification of your objectives. Don't take the wrong way to clarify your statement. That is the, if thinking about that, each and every steps and the issues, you have to relate the ethics, and you have to think about the ethics. Next is determine the facts. So I think the is a very relevant issues, that you have to think about the authentic data. You have to collect the data, or you have to find out the real sense, the what the facts, the truth, that what is going on right now, what is the main reason for the problem. So you have to think about that problem. So initially we talked about that some people are having difficulties. So if you are having that difficulties, so find out that why the difficulties, why the people are having that difficulties. So find out the reason of that problem. So find out the data, collect the data, and later on, that is first important thing. Once you are finding the data, authentic sources, you have to find out, you have to reflect the ethics also here, that you have to find out the right way, that how you are collecting the data. You are collecting from the right sources, not from the wrong sources. Okay. Next is the developing options. It's an important part of the decision making process. Always all the decision making process relate and warns that you have several options to do. And once you are talking about the issues, once you are talking about the options, I think the alternatives is very, very crucial. So you have to think about and make an alternatives, and then later on you will have to consider the sequences, that once you are following the options, once you are having the options, you have to consider that whether in which sequence you are considering the options. It means that which option will be the best one. Then in that case you will choose later on, you will choose the best one, but considering the sequence, that how you will follow the sequence, how you will follow the way, how you will go through. So this is the another case. And the sixth number is you have to select the best one, which option is the best. If you think about that this option is best, I think you have to choose, and you have to think select the best one from your options. So this is the right way, that once you are taking the ethical decision making, you have to think about that the right options. Right means that the ethics follows always the right and wrong, understanding which is right, which is wrong. So think about that there are maybe several options. One option is very right, one option is the best, is a superior. So think about from that area, you have to think, you have to choose the right option for your organization to solve any problem related to the matter. Next is the last one, is the monitor and the modify. Sometimes organization that they are taking the right decision, but they are not following or they are not monitoring, and they are not sometimes modify. Sometimes they need correction about real-time problem, because time to time some decision when they are taking, they need some modification. So I think this is one way that you have to take a role of a monitor. You have to scan the real sense, the real pragmatic situation, that what you are facing. So once you are following, and once you are having this problem, and you have to scan that, and then try to modify, try to correct the situation further. Once you are trying to consolidate these things in your life, it may be you need some real adjustment. So I think sometimes once you are taking some ethical decision making, so I think this is a crucial part, that you have to think about some adjustment in your process also. So this is all about our process. So I'll give you the model in a nutshell. This is the way that first you have to draw the statement, make the statement. This is the way you have to go through the chart. You have to first make the graph like that, and you have to have some example and also the explanation about the each and every steps one by one. So next, checking facts. Next, identify the relevant factors. And next is the development of list of options. So you have to, already talked about the list of options. Then the test option, it means that you have to evaluate, that is the sequence that already we talked about, that the choice, you have to consider the sequence, that how you can test, how can evaluate the options earlier. And then next you take the make a right choice based on the step 1 to 5. It means that you have to take the right decision, that which option you will take, which is the best one, and final one, the modification and the rule that the steps modify and monitor. It means that you have to monitor and modify. It means this a step in the model like an review, that you review all the activities what you have done and try to modify if you need some adjustments in your life. So this is all about the model. So I think if you have any questions related to the matter, we will try to solve these things later on. So now the last part of our discussion, or the last segment of our discussion, today's lecture, is then factors related to unethical issues or the behavior in the workplace. So the factors related, that the factors of unethical behavior in the workplace. So what are the factors? So we are talking about those factors one by one. The first factor is the greed. So normal sense, this is a common sense, that sometimes if you are having some kind of intention in your life that you want to get more and more in your life, if you have an intention, if you have that choice in your life that I want more, like you have a advertisement earlier in the Coca-Cola that dil mange more. So I think this is a very hilarious example, I think. So dil mange more means that you wants to get more and more and more. If you have that intention, maybe some people are always trying to behave like an unethical activities in the life. They are involved in the unethical issues in the life. And that is the case, the greed, maybe in the organization. I can give an example like that people are, if they are facing, or if you are trying to getting some kind of more intention in the life, that I will be successful in that matter. I already talked about that success factor depends on, it is subjective. One person is making that success means that I am making money only, I am making resources only. So in that case, if you are trying to get involved in the greedy, if you are in greedy situation that you are having in your life, and full of greed and full of intention that I will getting more and more and more, so it means that you are trying to involve in a unethical activities. Because in the real sense, that if you are following the rationalities and the honesty, maybe it is very difficult to make money in a very short time, because sometimes some people wants to be rich in a very in a quick manner. So it is not that much a very good idea. So it can be a very wrong impression in the life, it can be reflected. Another issue is the environment. So once you are in an environment and people are not they are not following the right code of conduct, they are always following the wrong things in the organizations or in the family or in the society. Maybe some people are, after one by one, he is observing and he is looking, maybe in future or any time you will be you will be suffer, you will copy also, and you will be infected, maybe like a virus, that what you are having. So if you are in a situation or environment where the people are not ethical, where the people are unethical, it means they are following the wrong code of conduct. So I think that will be the problem, that you will also have unethical behavior in your life. It can be an example like in our some organizations, some people are, or the superior or the boss, they are taking some wrong actions, wrong activities, they are not following some ethical code of conduct. Maybe it can be an example for the juniors, that or the other people, that they are trying to give you a force that you have to do unethical activities, otherwise I will terminate you from the organization. Maybe this kind of problem that they are facing always. Maybe this is a very difficult thing and situation. Next is career advancement. Career advancement, I think this is another problem, that sometimes some people wants to make one kind of jump, like that I will walk, but sometimes some people they will have to run like that. So maybe the person will have to the ladder, ladder one, step by step, they will go up. But some people wants to jump and they will skip some of the ladder, and then they will have to advance the career. And this is not the very good idea that you are trying to advance your career very in a quick manner. And sometimes some people wants to get the advancement in the career and try to involve some unethical activities, because he or she will have some conspiracy related to the matter of the organizations. And then some of the top officials who are not following the ethics and who is not very good and the rational person in the organization, they are trying to involve, and that person is basically having a affiliation with those people and try to make some kind of wrong activities, and they are following some unethical activities in the organization. This is another problem. And finally, we are talking about the ignorance. This is another problem sometimes organization has, that or some people or any other people in their life, that they are totally ignore the ethical aspects. They are not following totally, and they are trying to ignore that, they are trying to avoid that. So this is another main problem of the life, that they are not following the instructions. Even they are being taught, they are being given some advice already by the superior or by any person or any leader, that you have to follow the ethical code of conduct, but still they are not following. They are trying to totally, and they are trying to avoid the situation. Is one kind of that they are not following intentionally. This is the important part. So this is all about, this is the 4 different options and different factors. Even this is the factors that sometimes is responsible for making the people unethical in your life. So already we talked about a lot of things earlier. We are very closer to our session of this session. So I think students are very you are also you are in panic situation. I think don't be panic, but you have to be very careful about the issues, because sometimes the issues are right now we are having, that some people are talking, even some people are giving you some way that how you can cope with the situation. Maybe you have to develop your own immune systems properly, otherwise maybe we don't know exactly, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know exactly how long we'll have to go with this virus in our society. So you have to be more proactive in nature, try to develop probiotic in your body, so that it can be that you can reflect and can fight in the long run. Like your education, that what you are doing, having, and because you are waiting for your professional life, and then suddenly there is a problem that we are facing in our society. Don't worry about that. Within very short time, maybe hopefully within very short time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will try to mercy on us, and you can definitely have an examination from the National University, and you will have to have your first entry into the organization and professional life. You can start, inshallah. So thank you very much for this session, and hopefully we are having one class left, and that will be the last class of our session of the online or e-learning center for the Department of Business Administration. And we are hopefully we will have a better of your better things and better life